Hello, icons. This is Asa Leveaux. This is your first time, no, witnessing who I am. Please know that first off, it is Asa, not Asa, not Asia, not Asa. It is Asa Leveaux. So let me do a quick introduction. It may not be that quick either, just let you know up front. So I am the founder of House of Icons. What do we do at House of Icons? Well, our mission is to create, position, and monetize your expertise. We have a number of different ways that we do that at House of Icons. I believe that there are three main ways of providing service. That's do it yourself, done with you, and done for you. While there are three ways of providing service, we also have a methodology or a framework at House of Icons, and that's called the Icon Method. And what that looks like, the Icon Method, the Icon is an acronym and it stands for Imagine, Create, Optimize, and Nourish. I'll say that again. The Icon Method stands for Imagine, Create, Optimize, Nourish. And so, because it is a framework, it is a system, you do it and then you just start all over. That's the whole thing. I didn't want to overcomplicate things when I designed it. Why am I here right now? Why am I here right now? I am here right now because this is day 45. In this right now moment, this is day 45. 45 of what? Well, 45 days ago, I made the decision. Actually, I made the decision about 2 years before that, but I knew that I was going to go public with letting people know that I had made the decision to create $1 million in my agency. Now, have I ever created $1 million in my agency? No. House of Icons, as of right now, we are a year and 2 months, a year and 3 months old. I think it was a year and two. That's how old the agency is. Now, how long have I been in this space, the business transformational space? I had been in the business transformational space for over a decade. But this agency, yeah, it's a year and a couple months. Now, have I made a million? Okay, I had a coach who she's really dope. I love her. I love her to life. And she told me once, she's like, Asa, you've already made a million. I'm like, okay, you're clueless. You're absolutely dumbfounded. Because that's not accurate. She said, Asa, but if you write down all the money you've ever had in your life, think about every check, every entrepreneurial endeavor, everything that you've ever gotten, and add that up. Tell me what you get. And so I did the work. Well, it really wasn't work. I did the exercise, and it was over $1 million. She's like, exactly. You have created your first million. What you're looking to do now, what you desire to do is you're looking to create your next million in a collapsed amount of time. That's all this is. You've already done it. Just do it again in a collapsed amount of time. And so the time frame that I gave was 90 days. And in this last 45 days, and of course looking forward to the next 45 days, I'm literally at the halfway point. And I am scared as fuck. I am scared shitless. I am shivering and shaking. Matter of fact, when I looked at my phone, because I have a counter on my phone about what day it was, it said 45. I was like, wait, this is a 90. I call it the $1 million Odyssey. So I have the $1 million Odyssey is a 90-day runway, if you will, or a 90-day sprint. So, and I know how to do math. So if I see on 45 on my phone, I'm like, holy shit, holy fuck. Uh, uh, like I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. And it was real. It was very real. It was energetically arresting. Instead of just saying real, I can use my words. So let's use words. It was energetically arresting because I desire for it to happen. If I listen to the Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, Michael Beckwith, Alan Watts version of me that says it's it's here. I'm residing in it. I'm residing in that. I am the Asa that will be, because the Asa that will be is the Asa that is. And sometimes I forget that. A lot of times I forget that. No, I forget that a lot. Because I get so mentally set on what's happening right now, what isn't happening as fast as I would like, what seems difficult in the moment, what's not panning out the way that I envisioned. All of that becomes very real to me. I saw a quote, I think it was last night. They're like, I know my worth, but sometimes I put myself on sale. And I so got that. I so fucking got that. Because it's my reality. Because even though I can be completely positive, and I do have clients, and though I don't desire to only give them positive, like I want them to know like this can be difficult. You could feel a lot of different ways on this particular journey that you're on, and you may meet this thing and this thing and this thing, because as a 40-year-old person and someone who's been in the entrepreneurial space since he was 22, I have experienced a multitude of things that they may have not. So I always desired to make sure that I bring that into their remembrance, not to co-create something that they don't want, but to be mindful of what's out there in totality. There are a lot of different possibilities. So now that you're aware of the possibilities, you know it's gonna come. So that means you need to stay vigilant and focused. And those same words are things that I need to remember for myself. So I have been, doing TikToks, doing live sporadically to document this journey. And as of today, I'm using a podcast platform. I have a podcast called Icon Conversations, and I'm going to be using this in the future, especially in this last 45-day stint, to really truly state. I think the last 45 days are important. The first 45, that's limited to YouTube. YouTube has all of that data, all of that information. But going forward, I will do it simultaneously with YouTube as well as the podcast Icon Conversations. So what has happened? Let's do a recap in the last 45 days. In the last 45 days, let me tell you everything that has happened that I did not feel wonderful about in the moment that it happened. So I lost an apartment because I began to focus on this. I did. I lost the apartment. Maybe I didn't lose it. It went the fuck away. I know that. It went, it departed from me. Um, the apartment departed from me. And so I found myself staying with my brother. Thank you to my brother. For real. Grateful to my brother. And while I was with him, my mother called and she said, Asa, like, I see what you're doing and you have a family. And since you have a family, why don't you just come home? I have a house. Nobody's here. It's just me. You know how I am. So just come here. You don't have to pay rent. When I say you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay rent. Now, if you get something, if you're on the way, you want to slide me something, then that's cool. But that's not why you're moving here if you so choose. And so I put it out there to a community of other Black entrepreneurs and business owners. And I say that because there is context in the Black community, especially when a 40-year-old moves back to his mama's house. And so I put it out there. There's about 40,000 people in that community. And so I asked the question, so y'all, what would you what would you say? What would you do? Like, what should I do? What could I do? Like, I got offered to focus on this $1 million Odyssey and get things going and not pay rent and stay at my mama, but I'm 40. And overwhelmingly, 99.9% of individuals like, why are you not writing this from your mama's house? Yep. And there are people in that community that are just now starting out in business, so aspiring entrepreneurs. There are seasoned entrepreneurs. There are six-figure business owners, seven-figure business owners in that community. So I'm getting a big, vast group of people to chime in, and I liked that. So I moved to my mother's house. As I was moving to my mother's house, my car stopped working. It did. It stopped working. And it has been in the shop for now 3 weeks. And that has been difficult sometimes. And the reason why it has been difficult sometimes is because I'm at the age that I am. And so, yeah, there is a whole lot of me judging me based on the age I am. There is. Do I need to give myself grace? I do. Do I give myself grace? I motherfucking don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. I can do better, but I don't. I don't. And but looking back with the little bit of hindsight that I do have, or reflection that I do have, is I have created quite a bit. I've created quite a bit being not mandated to stay here, but I don't like to be a quote unquote burden to other people. So, and plus, my mother lives about 20 minutes outside of Oklahoma City. So I'm not in the heart of things. So because I'm not in the heart of things, I'm not asking anyone that I know, family, friend, whatever, to come see me, come pick me up, any of those things, not at all. They ask and I just decline, like I don't have a car right now. Some have said they don't matter. I'm like, mm, mm, it matters. So sometimes I don't let help, I don't allow help to come that could come when it's revolving those things. Now, when it's revolving business, yes, I do. But when it resolves me personally, yeah, I don't. And I have to remember that that whole that saying that says, it's not personal, it's business. I don't believe that necessarily, because businesses are ran by people. Excuse me. Like, literally, businesses are ran by people. And there's a very human aspect to business. And I have learned this over time. So, those are things that have not felt great. Now, what has felt amazing? Let's talk about that. I as someone who's been in the military for over 20 years, I like that. That's from a commander. I told all my soldiers, anyone that was, subordinate to me, junior to me, I always told them, tell me what I may view as negative first. If you have to choose, don't end on that. Do that first. So that's just a personal preference. And let's talk about what I've done well as far as the business or life. Life, I got to successfully support my son as he graduated high school. That felt super amazing. Super, super amazing. Something now, that's like the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. because I guess I forgot to tell you that part. So as far as like relationships, like there's no relationship. Um, I don't have a relationship with anybody. I was calling someone babe for a little while, and one night, I'll say this: one night I stopped. One night I stopped. There will be once all of this gets real, and I can be on a beach somewhere with a drink, and I mean a good drink too. I will tell that story to the whole total story, the unabashed story, the unabridged story. But for now, just know that I was calling someone babe. I wasn't with anybody, but I was calling somebody babe. And just one night, I stopped. The Let's talk about things that went well. Talk about my son. Let's talk about the actual offer. What have I done? Number one, I did the math. When I say I did the math, I broke it down into chunks. So that looks like, okay, what's the very first thing? I have $1 million goal. In order for it to be a plan, the goal has to be dissected. And so, how did I dissect it? I dissected it by math. That's it. There's a lot of different ways you can make $1 million. You can sell a dollar thing a million times, or you can sell $1 million thing once. It really is that simple as far as the math. We're talking about fifth grade math. Some of y'all, fourth grade math. And I did it. And at first, I was like, I'll sell 10 things at 100 grand. And then I was cool with that. And then I realized that I had been um, doing an offer for 2 years now. What do I mean by that? So I told you that House of Icons has been a brand for a year and a couple months. Before that, the brand I was working under that I created was called the Wealth Spa. And a lot of people couldn't pronounce it, and they kept thinking I was in the spa business. So I was like, no, I'm in a business transformational business, and it just was not working out. But during that time, I was living with my ex. Shout out to Shaz, because Shaz was a real one. Um, and yeah, if I like you, you get a shout out. If you didn't treat me bad and you showed up well for me, I'm gonna shout you out always. I don't care who you are. You can be an ex, you can be a friend, fam. I don't care. If you're a stranger, but I find out your name, I'm shouting you out. Let's see. So, staying with Shaz, we're living together, and I remember coming home, and after I had signed my first six-figure program, it was the first one I ever signed. First one. I was giddy. Okay. No, 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 y'all. I was giddy. And it was great. And as a result of that, I started doing the work. And that work allowed me to see what people of a certain level in life, experience of life, were dealing with. And it dawned on me like, wow, they need this. And no one, I have not seen anyone offer this. Remember, I've been in the business transformation space for over a decade. I've been to so many damn conferences, it's unreal. Masterminds, programs, live events, virtual events. During the pandemic, I was speaking so much. I mean, I shared a platform once with Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. Yeah, I shared a virtual stage with him. Um, so yeah, I was like, I'm doing it. I've been doing this for a while. So I know what people have to offer. And this shit, what I have now built, or what I had started to build 2 years ago, I talked it over with Shaz first, and I was like, what if I do this? I gotta give it to Shaz. They believed in me, even when it felt uncomfortable. Just like my mama believed in me, even when their belief was rocky. Like, well, okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, let's see how we're gonna make this happen. They had to borrow some faith I'm an ancestor or somebody to show up for me in those moments, which I love and I'm grateful for. Let's see. So I started to build the program 2 years ago. And then fast forward to, 45 days ago, I'm like, okay, what if I just take that? Because that was kind of like what I wanted to do now. I'm like, okay, I could do that. So I started putting it together. I actually started to formulate, like, I felt like I was in an entrepreneurial lab. Like I'm literally like, okay, I'll put a little bit of this. Okay, I'll put a little bit of this, weigh that. That's too much. It felt like that on paper and in my brain. And when I was working it out, I was like, I want to make sure because I now, I'm looking at doing a six-figure offer. If I'm doing a six-figure offer, I desire for the deliverables to be audacious and dynamic. Okay. I want them to be like, okay, even if you don't have the money, you're like, I wish I had the money because I know what that could do for me. And so finally I got it. I was like, I can't, I'm not allowed. So I understand profit margins. So I'm not going to be allowed to just make this $100,000. Like this has to be a minimum of 150. So I curate the program. I don't have any support with that, but I do have people that I've met along the way. And so what I start doing, then I start asking them for their opinions, um, product testing. So now I'm asking people that I trust. And I'm like, okay, so this is my offer. This is a rough skeleton of my offer. I don't tell them everything. Because I understand trade secrets. So I don't tell them everything. And I'm like, all right, what do you think? And it's a combination of responses. However, the majority of responses are these couple things. Asa, I feel overwhelmed. And I'm like, duh, you should feel overwhelmed. This is a $150,000 offer. Like, feel overwhelmed. Be overwhelmed. Even though I don't prescribe overwhelm for clients. I don't prescribe overwhelming your services because people do not perform actions when they are overwhelmed. And usually, when you are overwhelmed, because you are not clear or you're not organized. You're not, yeah, you're overwhelmed because you're not organized in your thoughts, in your mind, in your actions, in your space. So that's never something. However, when it comes to this offer, baby, I want you to be overwhelmed. And so that was one idea one response that I was getting a couple of times. The other response was, holy shit, Asa. Asa, do you realize what you've done? I said, motherfucking right, I don't understand it. I appreciate the sincerity, I appreciate the energy, but you goddamn right, I understand what the fuck I've done. Like, please don't, like, I don't believe in humility. I don't. I looked the shit up. Go ahead and look the definition of what humble means and humility. I don't believe in that shit. I'm Asa motherfucking Leveaux. Real life shit. I'm Asa motherfucking Leveaux. And I have done some amazing shit in my life. Some amazing shit. Now, I've done some dumb shit in my life, some old raggedy shit too. But let's just be clear. I've done some amazing shit in my life. And I'm like, you should feel that way. And so then the people like actually started to assess the value. They're like, hey, so this is like a $250,000, $300,000 offer. Like if they would actually just go get this out in, the world and send out, proposals for these deliverables, it would be a lot of money. I said, I know. I know. I've been in it. I've seen it. Yes, I'm aware. And one of the kickers is that many of the well respected, well known business transformational specialists, they may be a coach, they may be a consultant, that you may know. I'm talking about like the Lisa Nichols, the Brendan Burchards, the Dan Henrys, the Myron Goldens, even Tony Robbins is like, if you wanted a particular result, you would pay them this amount of money, like the 150 to 300,000. And some of them even have $1 million programs. I know my ring has $1 million program. He talked about it because I watched a couple of his videos. And so just for that, you're not getting a lot of deliverables. You're getting access to those humans. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those people have done a great job, an amazing job over the years, consistently making sure that they produce revenue for themselves, revenue for their clients. So I am not knocking any of them. And I know that you could get the information alone, or you can get the information and the deliverables. So that's why I know this is a good offer. And so what did I do next? After I really confirmed the offer, I started finding partners to help to assist with fulfilling it. That was fun. That was fun. That was fun. Finding the partners. We now have 13 partners. 13 partners. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay, I'll say this. One of the partners is so dope. They're all dope. They're fire. I love all of them. Like there's a reason. I mean, like I understand my brand is called House of Icons. Believe me, icons are in the house. And one of them, she's our celebrity photographer. She has photographed Taraji P. Henson, Ben Affleck, Shamar Moore, Morgan Freeman, Maya Angelou, to name a few. Yeah, to name a few. Those are ones that come in my head. Yeah, that kind of offer. I'm zooted, okay? I'm zooted about this goddamn offer. And so I put all the people together. We're good with that. The next thing was I needed to name it. So at first, I named it Icon Bespoke. I understand that I know a little bit, not a lot, but I know enough to be dangerous as far as the fashion world. So I love documentary like The First Monday in May. I've watched the Yves Saint Laurent documentary. I've watched the Halston docu series. I've watched like all those things. Um, the various past editors of Vogue, they all have their own. Iris, she recently transcended. I think she's transcended this year. But I love fashion, even though I don't seem that fashion forward. I love that world. And so understanding what bespoke is, I was like, that's really what this offer is. It's a bespoke program. And so I called it Icon Bespoke. And then I started talking to more people. And the more I talked, which is such a good thing, that's why I don't necessarily believe in always building alone, moving in silence like lasagna. Like, that doesn't work for me. That may be a godsend for you. But for me, the more I talk, the more I flesh this out and I get inspiration when I talk. Even now, like I'm getting inspiration as I talk. And so I found out that I really desire for them to dominate their industry with this offer, the people that will say yes. And so that's what I called it. I changed the name from Icon Bespoke to Icon Domination. And so I'm watching every night about every night, every day. I'm watching things on YouTube like Abraham Hicks videos. I'm watching biographies. Like I'm watching what biography did I watch? I watched what was his name? The Vanderbilt doc. I watched some things about the creator of Hostess. I did some things about the creators of Kellogg. And so I'm in this bio doc energy, just really understanding business, getting inspiration about how people built things, how people persevered. That's what makes Doc so good because everything didn't go so well. Watching movies like Dolomite is My Name by Eddie Murphy, that's a really good one. Once I get HBO, I need to, because of course there are a lot of apps, but I think specifically on HBO, there's a movie called Joy. I need to watch that again. I love Joy. So all these different things are very inspirational and motivational to me. All right, so because of that, I'm even like uh, YouTube clips of like Alex Ramosi, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins, Russell Branson. Yeah, all of those people. And I somebody gives me the information and say, you know what, I should start pulling in the audience element now. We're not at the halfway point. We're not at the end point. We need to go ahead and do this early. So I created 9 different logos because all of my programs in House of Icons, they have logos. So Icon Domination, that's the program that needed a logo because Icon University, Icon Incubator, um, Icon Conversations, like everything has its own logo. So I create 9 different ones and I ask social media to vote. And they started voting, baby. They started voting. And so and I'm tracking it. Like I only put it in, I put it on my profile and I put it in 2 groups. I put it on Instagram. So I'm tracking the different things and they're coming in. Like they're really coming in. I'm like within 12 hours, I like the top 2. Like these 2 just keep coming up. And so finally I bring it down. I go, hey everybody, these are the last 2. Which one? And the one that they chose overwhelmingly, I wasn't feeling this at all. I'm like, why do y'all like this damn thing? Because I just didn't have a connection to it. But I also understand people will tell you, they will give you direction. So I gotta clear my throat. So hold on. People will give you direction. And I desire direction. I asked them for their opinion and they chose. And so that's what it is. And so now there's a logo for Icon Domination. So we have a logo. What's the next thing? The next thing for me was I needed to, now that I have all the people, now that I have the logo, how am I going to sell it? Like, what's one way I could sell this thing? Well, I could do a webinar. Hmm. And I had learned, I had been I had been in the room with someone named Jason Fladlian. And Jason Fladlian, yeah, I'm not holding any secrets. Everything, like I'm gonna tell you all the shit. So Jason Fladlian is known as the $100 million webinar man. So because of him and through him, he has created $100 million through webinars. And I was in a training in Atlanta with him. Shout out to Lamar and Ronnie Tyler for that. And I got his book. And so, in the breakdown of the webinar, so I devoured his book for about a week and a half. And I did the webinar. I put it out there, formatted it, designed it, put all the elements in it, the whole thing. Okay, now why am I doing all this myself? Because I'm focused. When you are focused in business, you are gonna take a hit where your focus is not at. That's why I wrote my book called Fuck Balance, because I understood that I'm not looking for balance. Like, I need to focus. The results come when you focus. And I needed to do that. However, because I was focused on that, sales weren't coming in. But how was I okay with not letting sales come in and things falling off on the wayside? Like, yeah. How was I okay with that? Well, my mother was allowing me to stay here to build it out. And so I was like, at the end of the day, I have a safe space to lay my head. I have food to eat. I have Wi-Fi at the end of the day. So keep the main thing the main thing. TD Jake says that. Well, said it to me first. Keep the main thing the main thing. And what is the main thing right now? This 90-day endeavor. All right. So I create the webinar. Now I need to film it. Now, this is a six-figure offer. This isn't just high ticket. This is considered ultra high ticket offer. And I'm starting to get more things on YouTube as I'm watching things like Alex Ramosi. I saw a thing with him. He was like, "You need to be selling to rich people." And I was like, okay, now you feeling me. So the more I progressed on the journey, the more I started to receive evidence of where I was going and where I was. And that felt really dope. That alignment at different ways, that felt really good. So I was like, okay, if they're $1 million business owners that are going to, say yes to this six-figure offer, I don't want to just be, in front of my web camera on my laptop in the room. Like I believe that I should put a little bit more energy into it. I do. I need to put a little more energy into it so that it comes off well done. And so I went to the Oklahoma City Downtown Library. Um, my videographer, shout out to Tyler, actually picked me up, and we the went to the library, and I booked the auditorium at the Oklahoma City Downtown Library. Now, the Oklahoma City Downtown Library is gorgeous. It's really beautiful. You can Google it. You'll see it. I believe it's called the Ronjay Norick Downtown Library. It's really cool. All glass. They did a great job. Well, on the top floor, there is an auditorium up there that a lot of people don't even know about. It's so cool. So me and the videographer go to the auditorium. I book it out. Guess how much the shit costs? $10 an hour. Yep, $10 an hour to rent an entire auditorium with a stage and a projector screen. And so he mic'd me up, and we shot it. One shot, one kill. That's a military thing. And it was a wrap. And so he's now editing that webinar. And he said I should have it by tomorrow. So the webinar is done. Now, while he's been editing the webinar, I knew that, okay, how are they going to watch it? How are they going to register for it? So I created a web page, a landing page that they register. So they register for it. And then the page where the video will reside. So once they register, it automatically takes them. So I'm using an evergreen webinar approach. I'm not using this whole let's do it on Tuesday, let's make it feel live. No, we did the training already. It's available. Go watch it. Now, I understand that usually, if you think about the day in life of $1 million business owner, they might have more money, but they don't have a lot more time. So time is precious. So I know I needed to make sure that that thing was less than an hour. There are many different webinars out there that I've been a part of, that I've done, that I've seen, heard about. These webinars can be hours. I'm talking about 3 to 5 hours or 3 to 5 days, not challenges, webinars. And they don't need that. You need to tell them what the fuck it is. And so that was important to me. And so even shaving the time in the editing, I'm like, we can get, any of that dead white space, like let's cut that white space. So I'm very happy about this. I already received a mini rough cut of it, and I'm like, okay, this is it. So I'm ready. And yeah, so the webinar is done. And then as of today, that brings us to today. Well, actually, yesterday, last night, somebody that had added me on social media had reached out, was like, yo, what were you thinking about? Have you ever thought about, hiring somebody for your sales? I'm like, of course. And I don't believe I have the funds to really fuel that, energize that in the way that it needs to be. And so I'm a little bit leery right now of having conversations. So I was completely upfront, like shit's tight. I'm putting a lot of focus into this. I'm not focused on many other things. So just know that. And he was like, okay. Like, so I was like, you want to have this conversation with me? He's like, yeah. Like, okay. So we had the conversation today. We do an hour and a half conversation. He wowed me. I don't know what's gonna happen after this. I don't know what our, professional relationship will be like, but I know as of right now, in this moment, he wowed me. Now remember, how long did I say I've been in the business transformational space? A decade, over a decade. So I know sales. I know I've been around enough to know when you say that one thing, I'm like, oh, you took so and so's course. Like, oh, you read so and so's book. I do. I know it. And so that's what I said to him. So he started talking. I was like, I was like, where you get that from? Is that so and so? He's like, well, actually, that's so and so, but I actually did that training with so and so. I was like, okay, okay. So I tested him. Um, and he impressed me. He made me very happy. Yeah, if you impress me, you impress me. He didn't try, he's not black. And he didn't try to bro me. I really detest that because of my face, I have been told that I don't necessarily look like I'm 40. And sometimes people want to make me younger and they will address me as though I am maybe like, 25 or 30. And I don't care how old I am. If I'm going to be paying you, don't address me like this. Like, not when we're having a professional first meet. That's not what this is. Now, we're at a rave, like, what it do? But that's not the context of this meeting. And he didn't do any of that. Like, I told him in the meeting, like, I think within the first like 8 to 10 minutes, I was like, so hold up, just want to let you know. Right now, just if you don't do shit else good, as of right now, you're killing this meeting. You are killing this meeting. I am that person. Like, I want to be able to, like, I want to affirm you, even if you're trying to sell me. I want to affirm you. And because of that, I was able to get our first commission based appointment setter today. Yeah. So they make money when they make money. So I already sent the NDA and all the other documents that need to be signed. I should have those by tomorrow. So yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Um, so the next thing I need to focus on is making sure that we have a list of individuals that we can reach out to successfully. Yeah, that's the next thing. That is the next thing. Uh, and I'm okay. Um, because I'm talking this out right now. Now I feel like wow, I really have. It was good to do a midpoint recap. This was pretty dope of me to do. I hope you affirm yourself in the way that I affirm myself. Because we need to affirm each other. We shouldn't just be living in pissosity with ourselves continuously. So I did good with that, and so that's the next thing. And because my intention is for us to go ahead and tell the public about this next week. Yeah, y'all, next week, being able to really, really, truly tell the public that this icon domination is available for them to say yes to. And yeah, I just been so public about it, and that was necessary for me because now the public energetically is keeping me accountable. And it was perfect. It was perfect, perfect. And with that, I will say I thank you for listening. I thank you for being interested. I have no idea who this is going to reach. I have no idea. I don't know who this is going to reach, tomorrow, a year from now, maybe even 10 years from now. I have no idea. I, Let me not say that. I have an idea of what my life will be like. I don't do all this not to have an idea. That would be cool to watch this and find out to see this version of Ace be like, you did good, kid. You did good. All right. So with that, I will leave you. As always, I am Asa Leveaux, Dreams and Radical